evening. Right, so the bivvy's up, the bed's up, the rods are preset, and I'll spin you around and show you those in a moment, but they've not touched the water yet, apart from a little bit of leading around. That is all I've done. I found a few clear spots out there, and it's really very fine, dense siltweed. Yeah, there is a couple of thicker spots, but they're closer in, and I'm going a bit further than that, so I'm casting beyond that anyway, and then just hitting these clear spots and also the tiny bit of siltweed. Been speaking to the guy next door to me, and he's basically been here coming up 10 days, and he hasn't had anything yet. The wind has turned. Yeah, the wind is virtually coming towards us, but I've not looked at the wind direction on the weather app. Obviously north is virtually straight in front of me, and it's actually slightly coming in diagonally left towards me, like not quite a mate, but I'm happy with this. Yeah, I've not seen anything show. I asked the other guy if he's seen anything show, and he's like, he's been struggling to find them basically. So he's all clued up and stuff, so it's not like he's a novice. Yeah, he's been coming here a very, very long time, the other guy. And I thought, why not? And the peg what I'm fishing, many moons ago, I came here when it was all drained out, and this one in front of me has got quite a big basin going out, so it's quite shallow as well. You can wade out quite a bit, so I've got no need to, but it does actually slope off, sort of thing. So this is the like basin area, so this is like a shallower part of it, where normally I jump in the deep end, and before I go any further I'm on A1 pit, it's pit 6. Yeah, in the summer. Strange for me, but I'm here in the summer. So I've got this basin, I'm actually casting right over it, and this is where this thick weed is. It's actually in the raised basin part, and you can see it. It's not reaching out of the water, but you can see it. Once you're on the high bank, you can clearly see where it all is sitting. Like I say, I'm going past that, so I'm alright. Felt the leads back. Yeah, they're alright. Now, I didn't pull out my spod rod, I just used my normal rods, yeah. And I know you get the stretching the mono and stuff like that. Yes, fair enough. So it could be a little bit more tougher than obviously what I'd feel it if I were using the marker rod with the braid. But it is not clumping back, yeah, and I'm not coming back with clumps either. It is just a very tiny bit of siltweed, and I mean a tiny bit. So I've got my rigs down there. You can't see the rigs because they're all foamed up, and they're foamed up for obviously the weed reasons, so it's going to sink down on top of it, not in it. So I'll spin you around and I'll show you what I'm using, and then obviously they're going to be going out there. Right, so here we go. It is a wader's peg. Yeah, if anything happens, they're going to need to be on, because it is very shallow. It is not even half a foot in front of me, so I'm going to need the waders for the netting prospects. Anyway, so here we are. They're down here. Let's just hold you down a little bit more so you can possibly see that other one. They're basically all set on Ronnie's. Yeah, I've got a double bait on this one. Helisafe, black lead, dark green lead core. Yeah, on the Korda stuff. The middle one is actually on a drop-off lead system. I'm not going to go right through them because I do this pretty much all the time. That's lead core again, but that one's a brown colour, a camo brown, but it's like a sandy sort of brown. Ronnie again, that has actually got a yellow PB wafter on it. Right rod, bit different again. It's got the camo, or should I say khaki brown lead core on it, but the lead core's taken out, and I've actually got a double bungee rig on this one, so it's obviously got that extra bounce and stuff like that. Just something different to mix it up. Different colour lead again. They're all 4 ounces. Yeah, so I've obviously got the weight for punching it right out there. I'm reaching where I need to be. I could knock the lead size down. That one's got a brown Helisafe on. The other one's a green Helisafe. And then on that one, it's just got one of my flavoured up pop-ups on it. Yeah, same again, Ronnie, but it's weighted down with a tiny smidgen of putty. Yeah, tested in the edges, sinks it, hook sits up, cocked up, 12mm pop-up, job's a good one. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be using. I'm not going to be backleading, and I'm not backleading for the sheer reason, one, because that little bit of weed, secondary, the mussels. Yeah, this place is absolutely riddled in the mussels, and if they get trapped on the line, then that's it, it's going to be game over, and I don't want that line slicing through them, and obviously a possible break on a run. Yeah, it's more than likely going to be a blank, I will be honest with you guys, but it's a blank in water. Yeah, it's not an easy water. You can't see a lot of the lake here. It doesn't look that big, but there's not many people what can reach the middle. Yeah, I don't know if you can spot them, those ducks, straight out in front. I'll zoom you right in. Try and see myself. There they are, the 3 ducks in the middle of the screen, or middle of the screen now, should I say. That's basically where I'm putting my rod. I've got the option then to fish for liners, because obviously I'm at a range. It's going to be mixed weather, bit of rain, bit of sun, bit of overcast, changing wind directions, blah 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 blah, you name it, we're going to get it, apart from snow and all that sort of stuff. Oh, why not? Yeah, and to be fair, with my casting arc, I ain't really got a lot unless I wade around quite a bit. But I'm not casting in the waders. I'm literally just got my point set, and that's where I'm casting from. Right, ding dang do, let's get these rods out. That lot needs sorting out, but for now, it's alright as it is. Right, so all I'm going to do now is sink the lines, get it all preset. Near the end of this video, I'm going to show you an absolutely colossal, awesome tip. Yeah. Now, stay tuned for it. Obviously, you've got to watch it through, haven't you? Yeah. To obviously catch this tip. Don't just go skipping to the end. You might miss loads of other shit as well. So you got to watch all the way through. Right. So, I don't want to risk this again. Yeah. Obviously, you've been here. Obviously, as long as you've been here. Yeah. And we've got to do a biz, and I don't want to risk this. Right, so it's 6:31. Everything's nice and level. Yeah, I'm not having the tips in the water for obvious reasons, that I can read the tips and stuff like that. But but we got one of these made. Yeah, so we're having that. We're halfway down on that. While I had my back to the swim, a fish crashed out just to my left, not very far out, literally 6, maybe 7 rod lengths out. Yeah, big splosh, big disturbance. Having a look, see what I could see, apart from a big ring, and then that was about it. Yeah, so I ain't seen nothing else since that. I've also, oh, there we are. What was that? Was that a fish there? Roughly about the same sort of spot. Or was that the coot or the grebe? We'll have to have a look. Grebes come up further over, but being as I looked at the camera, obviously I'll have to double check myself. So the rods are set, the lines are set. I was bowstring tight line, literally they weren't even a millimetre, and obviously I don't want to be having my leaders obviously travelling through the water, so I paid off a tiny bit, but they are still tight. I waded in just to obviously check where the silt and stuff like that is, and all I'm getting is literally to the edge of that tree there, and it's becoming a little bit silty. That explains quite a lot many years ago when I was sinking in quicksand, and I was probably stood about there. Yeah, that's when all the water was down massively. It's drained it for obviously maintenance and stuff, but everything's set. While I was making a brew, I've had a nudge on the middle rod. Just about to run into it and it stops. So is it a liner? Was it a pickup and just spat it out? Was it a grebe swimming through and catching the line? Who knows? Yeah, so I've not checked it, I've left it as it is, and that was the yellow PB wafter middle rod. So we'll see. So if any of these rods go, it's a matter of case obviously change them all to the same thing. So there's 3 different baits on 3 different flavours, 3 different colours, different setups, yeah, different colour setups, etc. Yeah, it's just to be different on every rod. Yeah, and then obviously whatever works the best, and then it's a matter of case change it. Now it's not a matter of case the rig's different, the rigs are virtually the same, they're all on Ronnie's on Corda Boom, because I know that it kicks out nicely. Need to collect some water because it's too shallow in the edges. So as you can see, I'm only getting about knee high. That last little bit what I went to, I got knee high, and then it's silty, and I could feel myself going down. Yeah, and I don't want to be getting stuck out there, do I? So what did I do near the tree? I just chucked some boilies in there, and I'll go investigate it later or tomorrow. Obviously with that little fish, I watched it back on camera, it were a fish. Nothing big or special or like that. Didn't even look like a carp. It could have been a barber, it could have been a chub or something. Obviously with the Trent flooding into it, it's got a bit of mixed species in it at the minute. But also my other opinion with it as well, when it flooded, it will literally, every lake was basically one lake, so 6 lakes, and it all turned into one, as well as the Trent, and obviously further afield and stuff like that as well. So can't really say what fish is in what lake. So biggest in here is roughly high end 40s, yeah. But is it still in here, or is it in pit 54321, or has it gone to the Trent? Now I personally wouldn't have thought fish would have actually gone to the Trent. I can see fish coming in, but I wouldn't have said that they've gone to the Trent. Yeah, they're used to the nice calmer water. They're not going to want to battle it and then obviously go into obviously a river, what is completely alien to them. It's one of them, isn't it? Who knows? They might have done, they might not. So I don't believe fish have gone, but I do believe they can be in any one of the lakes, yeah. So the big one, like I say, for all we know, it might be in obviously the smallest pit. Yeah. Apparently it's been fishing well, and yeah, and it's all the way around the lake. It's not just literally one side. Yeah, it's fishing well all the way around, cramping up a little bit and the toes being bent down. Yeah, it's not the waders that be doing that in my normal shoes as well, but it's very rare you see the old fat ass come out in it, so I thought I'd obviously have a go. Yeah, they are a bit of a faff getting on, don't get me wrong, especially when you're not trying to get all the debris and all that shit all over your socks and that, and then obviously push them in your way, you're like, whack, and all this sort of like, it's like standing on fucking Lego, isn't it? Yeah. Let's try and get them back off again. Oh, pulling my gates down. Option. That'll do. That's all. We'll whip you around to the home. I need something that'll look complete fucking Barry White, they do, but hey, how it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, it's a bit of water disturbance, but it's also a little test as well. I could have just handballed them out there, but I wanted to see them land so I know exactly where they all are. Yeah, birds can pick them up, swans, all that sort of stuff, no problem whatsoever. But if nothing comes in what I know of, I can investigate it, can't I? And we'll see what's what. I don't like wading too far out anyway, especially when your rods are on the pod or on your sticks, whatever you want to put them on, because when you try running water or treading water, whatever you want to call it, it's bloody hard work. Yeah. And I like to be on my rods as quick as I can, so I don't like to be going out stupidly far. If I go out stupidly far, then I ain't going to be having the rods in the water anyway, for that purpose. A bit of bait has gone out with a thrower stick, not a great deal because obviously the seagulls start going on it, so I've probably got about 15 out. It was literally one handful, and obviously I've seen one, and I'll try and control it when obviously it's like flown away sort of thing, and then they all fucking come, didn't they? So it's like, nah, let's shy off the bait at the minute. Don't really need it out there, to be all fair, but there is a fish just cruised across the top, and it's still there, directly over my right hand rod and middle rod. And another one has just shown closer in. So they're there. Yeah, they are there. It's still going across that one. It's actually following the wind. It's going with the wind. It's like more over my left hand rod now. The right hand rod and the middle rod, you look at the lines, they're literally running parallel, and they're literally like a foot gap sort of thing, and that is literally all the way out. So they're landed within a foot of each other. The left hand rod has gone a little touch left. That one's probably from the middle rod. You've probably got about 8 foot on that one from it, but I know it's still on the spot. Yeah, you see me feeling down. I let it go through the water a little bit more, obviously tension up the line and stuff like that. As long as I feel a donk, I'm not bothered about the counting it down and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's where I want to be. I'm not bothered what depth it is. That's where I want to be. But we got choice of moving swims as well if we need to. Yeah, I don't think I will though, with having that little bit of activity. It's the first time I've ever had activity on this lake. Yes, fair enough, I normally fish it over winter than summer, but a little run, a couple of beeps, liners and stuff like that, all middle rod, nothing else on the other two yet. It's all that middle rod. I'll go bash some more bait in. No, I'm not, because there's still 2 above me, 3 above me. They're waiting. Throw sticks down there ready, so it's just silently putting in. I'm putting 2 in at a time, not putting a big handful in. I'm just putting 2 at a time, just so I can get that extra range where the rods actually are. So you know, for well, with throw stick, you're only looking about 100 yards, so maybe 120 at a push, but put 1 or 2 in, you can actually whack them a lot further. 10 to 9 at night. With that fish obviously showing close in, I thought I'll have a little dabble for that one. So I brought the middle rod in, one what obviously had a bit of action around it, and I thought, well, I wanted to check it for numerous reasons. Make sure obviously it's not the mussels, yeah, gripping the line sort of thing, because there's a few of them in here. Make sure it's not like weed bashing it around and stuff like that. It sounds stupid, it shouldn't move lead, but with the undertow it can. Make sure obviously crayfish or pesty fish, or literally anything what could have disturbed the actual rig, obviously see what's what. Anyway, when it come in, it was all clean. It looked like it had been untouched, so what those beeps were is beyond me. Is it liners? Is it the undertow with obviously the bit of weed between me and there? It's one of those, isn't it? I would have more than likely said it was a liner, or it could have been the undertow of the weed. Even when the wind died down, it was still doing it, but it stopped for a few hours. I thought, well, what I'll do, I'll bring it in and I'll put that rod actually at this showing fish what's obviously been all over the place. I don't even know where it were. It was something small, like I said earlier. It was probably a chub or a barbel or something like that. It wasn't nothing big, but it's a fish, isn't it? Anyway, it never had a nibble on it, and where I put it was on an underarm cast, and that literally landed on the cleanest spot what you can imagine. Yeah, not even the faintest bit of weed on the hook point or around the lead or anywhere around the leader itself. Nothing. Perfect clear spot. But it's within like walking distance. You could actually just drop it down onto it, even though I didn't. I just underarmed it to it. So what I've done from that now, the left and right rod still the same, no change, no recast. It's only been the middle rod. So the middle rod itself has gone back out there, but the yellow wafters come off, and I've just put a standard boilie on, yeah, not glugged up or anything like that. So it's just imitating the free ones. Free bait what I put in, it has just been boilie only, no chops or anything like that, no spawns. It's all been throw a stick, a little scatter. I keep trying to get a bit in, but every time I do anything, obviously the seagulls rub, so I get like an handful out, and then that's it, they're up, and it's pointless trying putting in more in, because obviously they're just going to literally take the whole entire lot. So I just put a couple more in, got about half a handful out, and then obviously they're back up where I thought they would have emerged by now, obviously with what time it is. I thought they would have disappeared and roosted up somewhere, but no, they're still on it. So I'll try a little bit more, obviously in a little while. I never got my head down, I've just been watching the water and stuff. It has gone quiet. The lake itself it nearly went flat calm, and I've never seen A1 pits flat calm. Yeah, but it nearly went flat calm. It's got the tiniest little ripple on it at the minute, just like you would have on a small lake. You can see it actually pushing over, but it's only a tiny ripple. But yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, now it's like I said earlier, it could be a blank. Yeah, you can't come to A1 pits and expect to catch fish. Yeah, it's one of these places you can be on it all week, 2 weeks. You might not even have a run. You might not even have a pickup. Yeah, it's one of these places, especially on this pit. Yeah, the biggest one. You got a lot of water to play with, hell of a lot of water. You could try and chase the fish round, but what I've noticed, they tend to go round in a circle. They do like the middle as well, but they do tend to keep patrolling round and round, and you'll see them. Well, this time they've been going from right to left, so it'll only be a few hours before they start to be back in front of me again, and obviously start coming through again. I'm happy with the spots. The middle rod itself, felt it down, it went with a FOD, but with that weed itself, there is a bit more from that middle rod. The right rod and the left rod felt fine on the drop, but until I bring them in, I'm not 100% sure. But there is a bit of Canadian weed out there. Can't feel it on the drop. It's going down. It's going down with a FOD. The hook should be clear from the PVA nuggets, and I have actually started hooking it into the actual nugget as well, just so it doesn't just fall off as soon as it hits the water, sort of thing. And you just got that marker, so they are actually pressing a little bit. Got plenty of time for them to dissolve, so that's not an issue. We'll see what's what. But the weed what's in front of me is pretty thick, that, so if anything does happen, oh, it's going to be heavy. Yeah, it's going to be heavy getting it through there, especially if it nose dives down into it. It's going to be heavy. Yeah. But in the drink has got a possibility of catching a fish. Leaning up the bivvy all night long, ain't got nothing. Oh damn, I've just seen rats. Right, that's it. My nets have got to go up in the air, because otherwise they're going to be roosting on them. But yes, boilie only approach, no pellets, no glugs, just literally the boilie only. That's all I'm doing. Right, let's get my nets up in the trees, just to stop them obviously having it. Good morning. I look like Mr. Bean with my eyebrows on. Anyway, yeah. I thought I'd actually take the night bit off, like, because you probably couldn't see me and all this. So, last night, was that a bit of fizzing? I'd say it's more silt pockets, but it's fine. Anyway, yeah, let's get back to it. Last night, 10:53. Yeah, this is by the time I got back in the bivvy. Something happened. Yeah, the left-hand rod, which I thought was the double dumbbell wafter, screamed off. Yeah, started off with a couple of single beeps, and then those beeps was getting faster and faster, and then it ended up into a one toner. So I was up straight away, and I needed to obviously get the waders up. So by the time I got my feet actually in the waders here, because I actually put the waders here instead of my shoes in front of my bed. By the time I got down to the rod, turned into basically a backdrop. It's like, right, it's swimming towards me now. And by the time I literally pulled the waders and then lifted the rod, it stopped. So I lifted up the rod and wound down anyway, and I didn't feel out apart from heavy. Yeah. So I kept winding, and it's like, well, it's not kiting, it's not taking clutch, or it's not doing anything like this. It's like, I reckon I've lost it. And unfortunately, yeah, I did. And that was on the pink pop-up, the little 12 miller. Got my first official run on this pit since I've been coming here. I mean, to be fair, I've not been here a lot. Yeah, I could probably count them all on one or two hands, sort of thing. Yes, it's over winter normally, but that's my first initial run on the first night as well. I'm like happy that right, it has happened. I put that bit of bait in. Yeah, I did get some bait in, and it all went over mainly that left-hand rod because the wind was actually blowing it over. I don't want it to be baiting up. Also, the other guy swim, which is one or two down, sort of thing. I'm just fishing straight, but the middle and right rod haven't done nothing since. So I'm thinking about, is that a better area? Yeah, because I've still not checked the right-hand rod. Yeah, I don't know what that's like, if it's sunk down or whatever. Like, I don't know. So I need to obviously bring them in for a recast anyway. But they are going to go that little bit more left. Still straight, but a little bit more left. Oh, yeah. So I haven't been up long. Yeah. Well, I have. I've been on and off, on and off. It's like, shall I get up? It's like, there's no need. Yeah, there's no need. Got a few ducks and stuff in front of me. They've just been down in this tree. I don't believe they've gone down on them boilers. Swans aren't being bad at all. Yeah, they're staying further out and they're just going past, not even touching the lines. A couple of bats last night, just single pips, where they hit the lines and the rods and stuff, but nothing dramatic. So not even worth literally looking at. So that's where we're at the minute. Yeah, I've lost one. Now, what do I think happened? When obviously I looked at the rig and everything, the rig looked like it had been untouched. Yeah, just masked over with weed, quite a bit of weed, to be fair. Obviously where the fish had pulled it into it. The bead below the or above the lead, should I say, not even slid down. The reason why that's not slid down is because obviously I wasn't able to lift the rod directly into the fish to get that weight on, and then obviously drop the lead, so I come back with the lead as well. So it was all slack, if you know what I'm saying, on the line for it to take. So I don't believe it was fully hooked. Yeah, I believe it was just slightly in before the barb. It knew what was what, sort of thing. It went straight to that nearest weed bed and then just literally managed to get it out. But oh yeah, it was a good run, a cracking run. And it's my stupid mistake for the waders. Yeah, if I had my shoes, I would have been able to lift into that on the screamer and then bang. I know what would have happened, but because I'm getting waders on because of the situation in front of me, that's obviously what's made me lose it. So the next time, if it happens, because bear in mind you are fishing for one bite on this place. If it does happen, waders ain't going on. I'm going to hook the fish, feel the fish, and then I'll try and get my waders on while I'm actually doing it. That's my idea. So I'm making the same mistake twice. No, I'm not. Can't say how big it was, 'cause obviously, like I said, I didn't feel the fish. Yeah, I didn't feel it. It could have been £5, it could have been £50. Yeah, it's one of them. Didn't feel it, didn't see it, just heard it. Right, so yeah, a bit pissed off about that, but it is what it is. Anyway, Mozzie Zapper has been doing an absolutely phenomenal job. I don't hear it spark or click or anything like that. It's probably because I'm a deaf fuck, right? I don't know if it does or doesn't, but I didn't hear it good and all that. I was in bed and I was nice and comfortable before that run. And then I swear down, the Arnold Schwarzenegger of mosquitoes come buzzing in. Yeah, I could hear it coming. Like that. And I thought, yeah, go on, get it. And then it started getting louder and it come right close to this ear. Yeah, it's like, whoa, get up, get under the blanket. But I don't think I have been bit. Anyway, don't feel like it. Yeah, but that Schwarzenegger one nearly had me. For me, that's a rarity. I never see A1 pits like this. Yeah, it's normally crashing waves, more like Scarborough, but look at that out there. It's barely disturbed, isn't it? And it's quite a bit over. Right, so it's 7:30, so that's roughly an hour and a half since we last spoke. And within that hour and a half, I've had a dopey swan hit my left hand line, and then yeah, that was fun. Yeah, it got caught up in it. I just left it, yeah, and it freed itself anyway. So if it wound down, then it's got to get up, isn't it? And then other than that, I've actually just been tying up 3 rigs to put onto the same as what the left-hand rod were, but obviously had some action. But I have taken the bungee out, so we've just got 3 leadless leaders. Yeah, the heli-safes on. They're roughly about 1 metre on that, and they're all about the same. And then just ready to attach the helicopter system. Now I'm setting my bead up probably about 8 inches here, yeah, between 6 and 8 inches. So once it obviously is tight, it's still got that little bit above it anyway, just a little bit, because I am going bowstring tight now. I'm not giving them any line whatsoever. It is literally just bowstring tight line. That's as all set last night. So the heli is going to go on there. Obviously that's got the rotary system, leg can drop. Rig wise, all the same, but I've gone to the sharper, better hook. Even though I've got the hook sharpener, the hook itself, it's a really basic hook. It wasn't a Carper's Essentials one. If I don't know where it's from, it was probably from China. Yeah, and it's quite thick actually on the point end. Yeah, even though I can sharpen it down, it is still quite thick in that area. So I'm wanting something a little bit more needle point. So I've gone back to the old Carp Spirit. Yeah, I've got them on the bait screws with the oval ring. Yeah, not the round ring, but the oval ring. And that's basically the rigs. Yeah, roughly about 1 foot. And then the wild card rig, it's the same hook, it's the same boom, but what I've done, I've cut the spinner off, so I've just got a ring that needs steaming down, but that's going to be like a combi. Yeah, so because I'm repositioning the rods, I'm going a little bit more left. If I've got one what's a little bit heavier weed, I've got something what's just going to sit above it that little bit better. Yeah, so that's the wild card rig, if it needs to go on or not. So we'll hang these back up. That's the swan. It's not a fish, that's a swan. I've got 3 of them in front of me. Right, let me sort it out. I've had to bring the rod in. It is obviously hooked right round it, obviously the line. Obviously as soon as I start retrieving it, obviously, yeah, fair enough, it pinged off. Now this has literally just come out the water. Yeah, this has just come out the water. What I have noticed, the top bead has come off. Yeah, it's not on the line anywhere, right? But I've not took any weed off this whatsoever. Yeah, it is literally as it came out. Yeah, so we have got a tiny bit of weed there. Can't really moan at that. And then there's a tiny bit here, just on the crimp. That's it. Yeah, that is literally it. There ain't no other weed, that is all. So, those baits are untouched. Before I must about changing it, what I'm gonna do, I'm just go snowman this one and then just launch it back out there. Whew. Right, all the rods are back out again. One buggered up on the cast. Just didn't feel right. It felt like it was frapping. Yeah, don't know what caused that. So I'll probably just let go a bit too late or something like that. So I have to bring that one back in. And what I've done, wanted a couple of boilers round it. Yeah, but obviously I don't want it to pull down too fast, and then obviously pull it into the weed. So all three rods are popped up. So all I've done, I've got a mesh bag. I put 3 boilers in it, 2 nuggets, and then when I'm actually casting, hooking it on, I'm actually going through the mesh, and I'm actually putting the point of the hook actually into the actual foam nuggets. So when it sinks, obviously that's going to lift up first anyway, and then obviously settle back down over it. So there's 3 boilers around each one, as well as the throwy sticks, what's obviously been scattered around. So that is obviously what's happened there. This Nash Boller is pretty decent stuff. That's what I'm using, £12. I took my ESP off and then thought, well, I'll put these on instead. And when I went down to the water's edge and literally looking at it in the water column itself, it ain't that bad either in the water. Yeah, don't get me wrong, you can see it, but it's not as bad as what some of the lines are. Yeah, it does blend in pretty well, and obviously low down it goes better it's going to be. Makes a lot, because obviously I've got a bloody leader on, like, anyway. But bowstring tight line again. I've had to pay a little bit off just to stop everything bouncing back, because I don't want it to bounce back, I don't want it to be too tight. Spring back, and then obviously my bait is over there, my hook bait's here, sort of thing. And not only that, when it springs back, it's got a chance of that hook point actually getting masked over with the weed. So I want it tight, but I can't have it too stupidly tight, just in case I do get that bounce back, for that reason. And then obviously bugger up all my chances because the hook's blanked over. Yeah. Got the windows up and just let a bit of air in. And you may be thinking, why is he not in his new screen house? And he used it once, why is he not in it? Doesn't he like it? No, I do like it, but because of the location where I've come, you just can't guarantee you're going to get a big bivvy on it. Yeah, sometimes you can't even get any bivvy on it, yeah, depending on obviously what swim you get. This place itself, it does get rammed, yeah, really rammed out. And I thought, well, if I put the compact in, yeah, it's not massively hot weather, the max temperature is meant to be 25, so I can cope with that. I don't really need the screen house anyway. I could have put it in the car, to be fair, but the weather conditions weren't really right for it. Yeah, if it was over 30, then I would have said it's going in the car no matter what. And if I do get a big swim, then obviously I've got the option to pull it up. And as you can see with this, I can touch the sides. I ain't got a lot of room above me. That's me on my head there. Yeah, I ain't got a lot of room. Obviously the other ones are arms stretched, not touching the sides at all. Arms up, and I can't reach it anyway. So that's the main reason, because like I say, you just never know what your size of your swim's going to be when you rock up. Yeah, especially this location. Oh, but like I say, obviously, yeah, fair enough. Obviously, if I know it's going to be over 30, I'll chuck it in the car and then so on, but it wasn't going to be that, so I had no need. I'm comfortable, yeah, I'm happy. And I do like this one. I ain't put the overwrap on, it's just literally just a basic bivvy on its own. Because we put the overwrap on, you've got no access to the this. Yes, you got more UV protection, But I've only opened this just to let that gentle breeze come through, because it was getting a bit hot on the back, yeah, from the sun. Obviously was coming up behind me, so it's just let that air flow through. That takes that away now, because I never bring sun cream, and I haven't. Oh dear. So that's the reason. The other thing is as well, I did actually want this bank, wanted this side of the bank more than anything else. I just had a gut feeling about it. So it's like, let's go there. And from years ago, when the water was drained, and obviously I've seen everything basically. It wasn't drained all the way, but it was drained 90% of it. I know obviously what's where. I know where the bars are. I know where this is. I know where that is, etc. I know the far right hand side, what I normally fish in the winter, is the deepest end, because that's where they're all pumping out the water into the Trent. It's food time. Yeah. Got some black pudding. What's got the best thing on it? 27p. Not my normal thing, is it? Yeah, I normally like the big sausage, big black sausage, bit of Barry, but that'll do. Chopped tomatoes, sausages, beans. Got our hash browns as well to go in, and little tiny dinky things like the old mangle up and that one. Well, that's all going. Where's my tongs gone? Yeah. So what I do, I pre-cook the bacon and the sausage. Yeah, not all the way, but just enough sort of thing. And then I put the tin tomatoes in. I always put a full tin in. Don't put half a tin in. No, it's always the full tin, because it's only going to get wasted anyway. A lot of them juices will obviously simmer away, and I just cook it up a bit like a spaghetti bog bowl sort of thing. So nice low heat. The heat from obviously the juices will actually cook the sausages, so if anything it's like kind of poaching them, but like I say, they are pre-cooked, and I'll just need a little bit longer. And now it's going to take a while for it to go. Probably looking about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. The end result is a good medley. So we've got black pudding, bacon, sausages, hash brown, chopped tomatoes, and a dabble of bread as well. So what we'll do first, because obviously that pan's could be a wee bit warm, making a bacon and sausage sarnie. Yeah, really nice, softly cooked sausages. They are literally like poached, basically. Wang a bit of that hash brown in there as well. Yeah, bit of bacon if I can find it. It's hiding there somewhere. That's also got the tomato juices on it. Ooh, I don't want to be dropping any fucking spoms. I've seen about 20 spoms already for the guy on the left. Yeah, overbaiting. And then we'll get this down. Stick that on there, won't it? Try and fold that up and hopefully not lose anything. Oh, got eggs in the car as well. Oh, oh, perfection. Nom 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 nom. Mm. Try and get burn bits from the hash browns. And that's about it. That's done two things there. Filled your girth even more, and semi-cleaned your pan. I've got all of my fat face now. So what you need then is a bit of bog roll. What's funny enough got coffee stains on it. It's not what you think it is. And then give it a final little clean. Got the bin down there with a bin bag in it ready. Oh, I missed some. And clean it while it's warm. stop it all going solidified and then being an absolute nightmare to come off. It's a non-stick pan anyway, straight from IKEA. Yeah, I think it will. No, it's not. It's from somewhere else. Get rid of that. In the bin. Job's a good one. Yep, job's a good one. And I can put that back in my other bag. Yeah. Oh, that's alright, it's the same colour as the Avid. And that food bag. I could have been posh, I could have used the plate, but there's no fucker here, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Could have used the oak plate. Or if I want to use the Corda plate. But like I say, no fuckers here, so it makes no odds. That all goes back in the air. That just gets squeezed up and chucked in there as well. Sun's back out. Fuck's sake. Zip it back up because it is a bit round because it holds the pan and everything. And jobs are good. I'm back in the other bag. Zip that one up. No one can see any shit. Put that back in there because I'm going to want that later for the other end. Oh, right. So that left-hand rod is going to have to change because there's spomming straight over it. Yeah, 2 spoms going in together, and oh, I don't know how many has gone in. Yeah, it's absolutely endless counting. There's my little cook stand. Yeah, it's stainless steel. It's gone a bit black. Could do with a polish, but it makes no odds. It just makes it more camo, doesn't it? Yeah, can't see it. It's not as shiny. So that's gonna go back in there. That one. I don't need it yet. So keep it tidy, and then when something does erupt, you're not falling all over yourself. Yeah? I just had to wade in. The guys got a spawn. I know one's got 2. I don't know if the other one's got. And basically it cracked off a spawn, but it didn't crack off by the knot. It actually snapped the swivel, and it was an official spawn once. It said spawn. Anyway, got it out of the water. I wanted to get out just in case it was trailing leader, and obviously that's going straight over my line, so hence why I got it, and obviously took it back. I gotta say, after all that spomming, it has gone quiet. The wind's picked up. It's obviously a little bit harder to see the fish, obviously, once you've got a bit more chop on wood. It's not bad, like, but there is a chop there. And yeah, since all that spomming, I've not seen anything, so as it spooked them off, I'd have gone down onto the bait. Who knows? Yeah, but I did have a recast on my left-hand rod, mainly for the sole purposes of the rocks in next door, and it was a little bit close to them, to be fair. Even though it's in my boundaries, it's too close to where that spawn was landing. It's like, no, yeah, I don't want to be fishing over some other bait now. If you're putting that much spomming, it could be pellet, ground bait, party mix, it could be anything. And I don't want to be fishing on the top of it. Now I know for a while my pink bait, it will fish well with anything. Yeah, so technically it's like a free food. But I don't want all that bait round my hook bait. Yeah? I don't mind a small scattering, which is what I've done, and that's obviously over a big area. But I don't want it all on like a dinner plate, and it was virtually landing on top of my rod. It was probably within 2-3 foot, yeah, and obviously I didn't want that. So it's like, nah, pull it away. Not only that, if I get a runner, if he gets a run, it obviously opens up the swim a little bit more, doesn't it? That's the way I look at it. Just making a pro. So the left-hand rod has obviously gone out. It took really 2 casts actually. The wind caught it, and it actually went over the other 2 rods. It's like, yeah, fuck's sake. And I was aiming directly to the caravan as well. Yeah, perfectly direct to the caravan, and it basically went in line with the tree. It's like, for God's sake. So obviously, just imagine that at night. Yeah, you could be an accurate caster, I normally am, but obviously when that wind takes it, that wind takes it. There's no two ways about it. So I wasn't happy where it landed, so I've repositioned it, and that is fine. That one's gone a bit further out. Now I know for well, with that one, my thrower stick ain't reaching that. No chance. Zero. So that one out there is a single on its own, a real far out single. I know they just put a PVA nugget on it, so obviously make sure it nests down nicely on any type of weed what's in there. If it has landed in a big clump of weed, funny enough, that's Rod what we're talking about. If it has landed in a thick nest of weed, it ain't going to be fishing, but I think that's just set the point there. Right, so I've just got back here on that lot. I'm just literally uploading something to YouTube, another video for you, yeah, because I'm kind of like that, aren't I? Anyway, while I was obviously sorting out my left-hand rod, had a couple of beeps, and obviously my anger crept up nice and slowly, yeah, like beep, 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 and it right up to the very top. So I go down and investigate it, and it's literally nothing else. I've got waders down there ready, took them down with me, yeah, I ain't fucking doing what I did last night, yeah. If that goes, I'm pulling it, and I'll try and get waders on while I've got the rod up in here. Anyway, so I'm having a little play about with it, literally feeling the line just in case anything gives it a jerk and all this like that. Bear in mind, bobbin's right to the very top. I didn't want to fuck about with it. And then the far right hand rod, that basically does the same thing. So it's a liner obviously going from left to right. Yeah. So I've not moved the rig. All I've done is just literally give it that tiny little bit more line, and then just bobbined it back up again. That's all I've done. Yeah. Right. The chances could be a little bit less now, and the reasons for that is I've had to backlead. Yeah, so I literally go in the waders, basically peel off a bit of line and stuff like that, and just literally the backleads are directly below the rod tips. Now, why have I backleaded? Because obviously I know for well I've got a weed bed in front of me, and I'm obviously on the other side of it. So why am I backleaded? Because of swans. Yeah, they keep coming in, hitting the line, running with the line. I've seen them coming. It's like I need to sort this out before to do it. So that's why I've had to. Now, why is it not my chances down? Because of that weed bed, obviously, it's got a pull through it. It should pull through fine, and obviously I'm lifting over it, aren't I? So it's going to take a little bit to come through and stuff like that. But why I didn't, the main reason why I didn't want to backlead is because of the muscles. Yeah, the like razor blades, and that's why I didn't want to do it, because of that. Now, the line itself it's tight, yeah, and I mean it's tight. It's a 1 ounce backlead, and the S clip is just literally sitting dead up, yeah, so it's not exactly flat on the bottom. It's got literally about that, and that's going all the way across. So it could have upped the chances regarding on the rig end. Obviously the fish aren't going to be swimming to it as easy, yeah. The liners are obviously going to cut down, the swans obviously are going to cut down, but I would have thought that it's also going to knock the bites down as well, yeah. And through that weed up, I might get a reading, I might not get a reading. If I get a run, then yeah, I'm gonna get a reading. If it's just single little blips and stuff like that, no, yeah, I don't think I will. Yeah, guys, this one's been racking my brains for quite a bit, yeah, and I'm not on about while I've been here, I'm on about for months and years and stuff like that, right? And it's one of the reasons why I don't watch what I call telly boys, you know, Corder, Nash, whoever, like. Right, so you come to a lake like this, yeah, you haven't been many times, you've got an idea, or you've never been before even, yeah, and they always tell you, don't they, to cast a showing fish, yeah, even if it's one, cast to a showing fish, yeah, because obviously it's there and you can see it, yeah, on the top, sunbathing, minding its own business and all this sort of stuff. More likely ain't fucking feeding, it's just soaking the rays up. So They tell you to cast to a showing fish. Now here's the question, yeah, this is what's been racking my brains. So you don't know the lake, yeah, you cast it to it, yeah, you land within millimetres on its nose. The rig falls down and it lands. But unless you've done your basic research, like feeling the lead down, whatever, how do you know that rig is presented right? Yeah, because you've not done your basic, like say, leading around before. Yeah, you literally just rock up to a swim, wait for that thing. Sick to death of that, isn't it? Trains. Anyway, yeah, let's crack on again. So the fish is over there, and you cast to it, and like I say, the rig drops down and that lot. But because the fish is there, no matter what it's landed in, you leave it there. Yeah. Now it could be 15 foot of weed. It could be heavy silt, and the whole thing's sunk down. Or because you've casted that showing fish. So think about that question, yeah? And put your comments below. Now, me personally, I like to have a little lead around. I can do it with either the marker rod, obviously turn that into obviously a leading rod, and then change it over to a spom if I want to use a spom, or I'll just use my normal rods. Now, yes, fair enough, obviously rods aren't as sensitive as you use in braid, obviously on a higher test curve rod, but you still feel the basic don'ts. Yeah, so you can literally have a lead around before you even chuck your rods in. Like, right, that area's too weedy. Yeah, I can't really be putting a rig in there unless it's like a PVA bag or something. It's quite high weed as well, so I've got to try and get it through it. I could fish up to the edge of it. It's pretty clear there, sort of thing. So this is the sort of scenarios what I'm talking about. So, like I said earlier, I've got a weed bed in front of me, and I've got a weed bed on the other side of it, and I'm fishing in the middle between the two. Yeah, all three rods are between the two. Even when I had a little switch around, because I had a lead around, I knew where to put them. And when I felt them, they are a bit of a donk, but I've set it up so that rig's going to come down slowly and sit on top of that weed, but so it's protected on the way down. And then literally all it's got is literally the hook link just to literally pop down, and then the foam nugget is still on inside the bag, so that settles down, and then obviously that's slowly melting off, and then that just comes down as well with it, nice and slowly. Nothing's masked over. The only time it'll be masked over is when I bring it back. So my personal thoughts on casting to showing fish, unless the lake is gin clear, yeah, I don't mean the water, but you know, well, there's no weed, there's no heavy silt or anything like that, that's the only time you can really get away with it. Yeah, like I say, put your comments below. What's your thoughts on casting to showing fish? Is it productive, or are you just wasting your time? I'm gonna call this one Phantom. Yeah. Wait for the train. Oh, it's got some weight to it. Right, let's try and pick it up. Oh God, I'm shaking. That's why it's called the Phantom. Can't see much of it. Let's get it. As that song goes, that's obviously what I'm waiting for. I've got no need to do anything. It's a waiting game, yeah. I ain't putting no bait in. Yeah, I've done my baiting up. I don't need to put no more bait in. I believe it's still there. There has been fish coming in and going out and stuff like that. got the guy next to me spomming out like running crazy. This side. This guy has been doing a couple. He hasn't been doing too much. This one's been pretty alright actually. But this one is like looking at like 20-30 spawns at a time, roughly about every hour or so. Maybe every two. So I know my rigs are on the spots. I know they went down with a donk. I know they're presented right. I know that I've got bait round them. I know that the bait's still on. I know the rig's not tangled. Yeah. I mean, yes, fair enough, on the rig tangling, you don't really know until obviously you bring it in. But I've done everything right on, obviously, for it to not tangle, and every other time I brought it in, it's been perfectly fine anyway, and I've been using the system for years, so I've got the utmost faith in it anyway. So I don't need to do nothing apart from wait. Yeah. Do these fish turn on with food going in? I don't know. Do they turn on more when it's quieter? I don't know. He's obviously putting in loads of bait. He's, to my knowledge, zero fish. Yeah, I've not seen no water disturbance or any yays or anything like that. Nothing. Normally, the guy next to you, you'd hear it. You'd hear the splosh, obviously, with the fish going to the net and stuff like that. Not heard anything. So he's piling in all the bait with the spawns. They're not accurate. They're all over the place. But he could be doing that between his two rods. But they're still like all over. So I don't need to put no bait in my opinion, yeah. And that's why I'm not. Yes, there's some seriously big fish in here. And for the bait what I bought, which was in there, now that bag itself, it was roughly about, say, half full. Yeah, and I've still got a load. Yeah, I've still got a load, as you can see. It's about quarter full at the moment. Want to have one? Right, so kind of not expected anyway, but they didn't budge last night, not even a single toot. Yeah, so I got the best night's kit what you can imagine. Yeah, and then the train stopped as well, so that was even fucking better, wasn't it? Yeah, didn't have Thomas's tank going flying past and that. I know then rig going the other way and all that. Yeah, so I got a decent nice kit. Woke up about 6ish, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's about 7:30 now. I've been looking at the water. No point fucking looking at it like it, so it ain't doing that. Yeah, let's try and get it a little bit straighter. Yeah, ain't doing that, but I'm not moving them. Yeah, I know they're right and all that stuff. And it's a bit pointless moving them. But last night I thought, if anything happens, I ain't gonna make the same mistake again. So I put the old waders on. I got laid on top of the bed and I slept like that. Got a bit stuffy and a bit hot, so it's like, fuck this, yeah, pull them down. So I did. I pulled them down to my ankles, but still left my feet in them. And that one, so I just swing them out, slide them up. Jobs are good. And I don't even get a single bloody beat from doing that. Oh, oh, it's kind of expected, really. To be fair, yeah. I was saying to myself after that run, like, you've had your chance there, yeah. But I am pleased about that. I had that. Yeah. So I was like saying, 25%, yeah, it could happen, and 75%, you've had your time. Yeah, it's done. Yeah, because bear in mind, when you come to lakes like this, you're fishing for one bite. Yeah, you might be on a lucky spree sort of thing. You might end up with a few, but it's like I was putting on the Yoda community for you guys. Obviously, you guys wanted to see me to adventure harder waters. Well, we're back to harder waters, aren't we? Yeah. So it's like I said, don't expect to see many fish. Yeah, because you come to places like this, and you could be blanking your ass off. I still don't reckon that guy what was outside of us, what was fishing for over a week, had any fish. I don't even know if he had a run. No one's alarms went last night as far as I'm aware. I didn't hear a single thing. Yeah, fair enough, I was out for the count, right? but I was still alert, but I didn't hear anyone's alarms go. I didn't hear any splashing around, going around like that, you know, obviously where the internet's now, especially these two guys inside of us, this side and this side. I don't think that helped out with all the spams, yeah, too much. Obviously destroyed the swim. The only thing I've seen this morning, since being up an hour and a half, one far out, yeah, really far out, more near Steve's caravan. Yeah, it's on his side. So that was well over halfway. Yeah, ain't reaching that. Yeah, where mine are, basically on that coot over there. Yeah, that's where mine are. So most of the stuff is at the car already. Still got a bit of bed and all that lot, so meant to be getting a bit more rain, yeah, because we had a bit of rain during early hours all the way through till 5 in the morning, and it stopped. Ooh, go on, Kingfisher. Right, so my final hack, yeah, you need the bog. So what do you do then? Right, obviously you got to be prepared and take a bucket or obviously a proper toilet, and then instead of emptying it home, yeah, because you got to wait for the bin man, it's going to make your bin stink and all this lot, then you need to do this. At least that way you don't need to worry about it anymore. Yeah, it's not thrown in the edge or whatever, you're not left no landmines about, you just literally letting the bin man collect it, but not from your bin. Job's a good one. Got rid, car smells fine. Happy days. See you on the next one.